Angie Shell, it's Kelsey.
Oh, Chelsea, how you doing, sweetheart?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I was talking about you the other day because we were looking at the news, and your former football player is now playing basketball, and there was a big, I guess like a scuffle out on the basketball court, and they circled him.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Are you on spring break?
No, actually, my spring break was a few weeks ago. I'm actually back in school.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah.
Yes, is there something wrong that you're calling, or you're just calling me to be nice?
Be nice. And actually, I have to write a paper for my English class, and
Yes.
I'm writing it on Henry Marzullo or Uncle Wiggily.
Uncle Wiggy.
Yeah, and I have some questions, and I wondered if you could answer them for me.
I sure could, honey, as well as I can if I have the knowledge. Go ahead.
Okay, do you happen to know when or where Uncle Wiggy was born?
I do know that he was born in Chicago, Illinois.
Okay.
His parents were Henry Marzullo
Okay.
and Rafaela Marzullo. R-A-F.
R-A-F.
E-L-L-A. Rafaela.
Okay.
And he was born, let's see, Grandma was, 11, 12, 16. He was born in 1918.
Okay.
I don't know the specific date.
That's
all I know is the year.
That's fine. That's perfect. Right. Okay. And then what is your relationship to Uncle Wiggy?
He's my uncle. He's my mother's brother. Okay. Actually, the only brother of all the siblings. The only male of all the siblings.
Okay. Where did Uncle Wiggy, where did the nickname come from?
I think it was because he had such an amount of curly hair that it almost looked like he had a wig on his head. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I was told that Uncle Wiggy was a member of the Italian Mafia. What can you tell me about that?
We kind of suspected that he was affiliated with them. See what had happened in his youth. He was always on the wrong side of the fence, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. During his time on the other side of the fence, the wrong side of the fence, someone was killed. Gunshot. Okay?
Okay.
He didn't actually pull the trigger or was not holding the gun, but he was in the group that committed the crime. So he was incarcerated.
Okay.
I don't know for how long, but he was always an extremely, extremely intelligent young man. And because he knew shorthand and typing, which is not the usual thing for prisoners. He became the secretary and, I guess you could say, the intellectual mind for the, what do you call the guys in charge of the prison? I just lost the word.
What are they called?
Not the president, what do you call him? Not the captain, the president, what do you call it?
Of the prison?
Of the prison. Warden.
Warden, that's it, yeah.
The warden, yes. So, because he knew typing and shorthand and all that, he was able to, almost like being a shirt tail for the warden, because whenever they would have, prisoners to quiz and find out about or go to courts and everything, Uncle Wiggy took everything down in shorthand, and then he was able to reproduce it, translate it, and type it all out for him, and he had everything at his disposal. He meaning the warden.
Okay.
Wow. He did not go to college.
Wow, that's awesome for him to be able to do that, though, without going to college.
This is what they all wondered about, his family, because he had so much talent and brains, why he would lower himself to, take the short way, the easy way out, so to speak, or the bad way out of life. And he actually wrote 2 or 3 books.
Really?
Yes, he did. Was working on getting them all published. when he passed away, I had copies of the contents that were not in book form, but they were in boxes. Like this book, that book, the other book. And I always feared his relationships with, so I had them all destroyed. I didn't want to keep anything of proof in case, if in fact, he was connected in some way with that.
Yeah, because I remember my dad telling me a story about at his wedding day how he first met Uncle Wiggy. And then how Uncle Wiggy used to send my dad and mom checks in the mail with money in them and no return address, but my dad would always rip them up because he didn't want to have connection.
Well, see, this is the same thing with me. When he left his connection, so to speak, with Grandma and my family, that was when Uncle Jerry passed away. I don't know if you know Auntie Anna and Uncle Jerry. That's Uncle John's mother and father.
Oh, okay.
Okay. When he passed away, that's when Uncle Wiggy left our house during the funeral, and we never knew where he was. And he took all of his belongings. And he tried to contact me because he wrote poison pen letters to all of the family members, the cousins. And, they were just, I can't think of a strong enough word for anger. They were just, especially the guy cousins, they would have killed him, I think. His accusations and his talk about them and everything was really bad.
Wow, that's...
He tried to contact me, and I would never answer. He finally wrote a letter to me, and I didn't want to open it because I didn't want to be confronted with a poison pen letter. You know what I mean? I loved my mother and father too much, and he just hated Grandpa. They never did get along. Why, I don't know. And he had everything to be just the opposite because after, he lived with us for 40 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not too many people would take someone out right from jail and make sure that they had a roof over their head. It's not to say that he didn't do things for us, around the house and all that. And some of the stuff we never knew where he got, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Never knew if they were toasted or not. You know what I mean by being toasted?
Yeah, there's always that, question of his sincerity. Or, his trust.
And I'll tell you, my teachers at school used to tell me I was the best dressed teacher in school. And I never knew where I would get these jackets and beautiful sweaters and things like that. Until Grandma one night said to me, I want you to take all of your sweaters and things out of your drawer, put them in a box, put them on the shelf in the garage. I said, why? I was just so totally oblivious to what's going on.
Oh, my gosh.
And she said, just do what I'm saying. She says, our house may be raided. I'm going, what? Because basically I'd just come out of the convent. I was in such seclusion. And, yes, I was a nun, but I wasn't attached to nun, honey. I was born in a real rough Italian neighborhood. So I knew the score, even when I was in the convent. But at the same time, I'm not telling you too much knowledge, giving you too much knowledge.
No, this is great. This is just what I need, because, I need enough information to write the paper around, Uncle...
And you can put some humor to it, too.
Exactly, and, I also have to do outside research, and I have some books on the mafia and, crime during, that decade.
To this day, I don't even know if he was... The only thing that... To this day, I don't know if he was in the mafia, but I kind of suspected it.
Yeah.
Because after opening up his letter, and the letter specifically stated that he had gone to a couple of the priests, and he wanted to know, he talked to the priest, and he said, I don't have much money, but what I do have, I didn't want it to go to nothing. He said, so the priest said, if you had to make a choice at this time, who would you tell your deepest secret to, And all he thought about, he put in there, was his niece, okay? So I took this letter to my priest at church and my pastor, whom I was friends with. He said, I don't want this money. This is poison money. You know what I mean? It wasn't much, but there was... I said, if he got it in a way that would not represent me, And then my priest, he said to me, Rochelle, he said, would you like it to go to the government? Or he said, would you like it to go for a good cause for yourself and your family? Well, that made me think a little bit. Then I got a call from Florida from him that he was very sick. Mary and I went down there, and couple of days, but every night at about 3 o'clock in the morning, he would leave the house. And we would hear it, you know. And I was scared to death. I thought he was, because he was always, you know what a bookie is?
I think so, yes.
Gambling. The person that takes the bets and then pays off the bets and keeps what the loss is.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I
So
do.
Mary and I thought, you know, that there was some hanky-panky going on. So we decided we were going to leave earlier. And while he wasn't there the next morning, we were looking underneath all the ashtrays, you know, we thought the house was bugged, you know.
Yeah.
So we left earlier, and then I got another call several months later that from his doctor, and they had seen that my name was on something. So I had to rush down there, and I said, he said, it may be too late by the time you get here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to take care of all of his. He had surgery. He was in intensive care. He had all of the, you know, the apparatus that keeps you alive,
Yeah, the life support.
life support system. And after several days going back and forth, and he still wasn't coming, you know, being revived or anything, I said to the doctor, tell me the difference between a surgical sleep or someone who's in a coma. And that's when he said to me, would you want me to do a CAT scan? And I said, well, duh. So he did. And he called me that night. He said, we have to talk tomorrow morning. So I got to the hospital. He said he is legally brain dead. He said the only thing that is keeping him alive are the machines. He said, what would you like us to do at this time? And I'm going, well, duh, again, because I didn't want to be in a position to make that decision for his 2 sisters, whom he did not want any part of. But I did say to him, if you expect to have correspondence with me, you have to talk to my mother because she's my heart. And there's nobody that's going to disrespect her. Well, at least he spoke to her on the phone. But Auntie Anna, he wanted no part of, and she cussed me up and down because that was her brother, and I had no right to do that. But I couldn't do it. You know, he wouldn't permit it. So I called all the cousins, his 2 sisters, what shall I do? And they said, whatever you feel you have to do. Well, I wound up doing the obvious, you know, releasing him from all of that. We did it. We took care of getting him his coffin. But you should be talking about, was he in the mafia? Got him his suit and everything in the coffin and all that. And the body was to be brought to Chicago. And when we got to the funeral home, it was the same funeral home that Grandma was at. Grandma and I said to the funeral director, well, honey, it was like taking somebody that he weighed about 50 pounds. And it looked like it was a casket for somebody that was about 175 or 80. I mean, his arms were all squished in. Thank God there was not going to be a viewing of the body, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But that was Wiki's life.